Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene set in the Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem, Requiem for London. The single greatest intro is the one that never existed. uh, tonight, oh dear. Tonight, Julian has been requested to come to his sire's office, located at the Goodman Pharmaceuticals. And, oh, Julian knows his way there and knows the layout of the place quite intimately. When Julian arrives there, he finds that much has changed since he was outed. Or ousted, rather. The layout is substantially different. Rooms and facilities have been shifted around. There's no one in the building itself, and if Julian's paying particular attention, he can see the cameras are all turned off. Well, does Julian make his way up the building? It's not comprised of that many floors. It's a laboratory. It's not an office block.
Yeah, he's making sure that nobody really sees his face, whether or not his record it still exists, and change the fact that people still saw what he did in the newspaper. So he sees the gesture of the cameras as a sign that he is supposed to be here, but people are still people. So as he climbs up the stairs, avoiding the elevators, to get to the meeting place. He looks at a wristwatch to make sure that he's arrived on the at the proper time before he tries to knock or open the door.
You can see through the glass door that she is waiting for you. But you politely knock the door, and she just looks at you as you walk in. Her piercing red eyes, unsettling as ever.
So, and he nods his head and says, "Ma'am."
Julian, good to see you again. In better spirits, I hope.
It helps not to be quote unquote homeless again and the cops bringing down your neck. So yes, it's doing pretty well for me.
I heard you were out with Master Irons a few evenings ago.
No was.
I heard you were enlisted by him to apprehend a certain individual.
That is true.
Turn that off.
He does.
I have no intention of being spied upon.
But, no, we haven't captured the target yet. If that's if you wish to ask.
Do you know why Master Irons enlisted you?
We are coterie mates, and we are personal friends.
I see.
And outside of the obvious, if a physical encounter would occur, it'd be wise to bring a member of the Axe with you.
I see. I require you to bring this individual to me now.
What about Irons?
What about Master Irons?
It was his task. It may not be in good taste to take his quarry from him.
With respect, Julian, I understand he is your coterie mate, but I do not concern myself with pandering to Master Irons' tastes.
So be it.
If I recall, you and he had an opportunity to acquire your quarry, and it was not taken.
So he felt that we didn't have enough information to make the move. He was the lead of the mission. I followed his lead.
Well, then allow me to take the lead this time. I'm aware that your quarry is quite concerned and aware that there are eyes upon him right now. Around this time, he can generally be found in what remains of the domain's rack. Usually with employed protection. Tonight, that protection shall be assisting you.
I see.
They are a useful proxy, but lacked the capacity to handle this subject, whereas you can.
And then, if that's the case, what conditions do you want the target to be in?
Alive and conscious. They may be staked. If you have no choice, you may talk with them. It would be an inconvenience. But needless to say, I expect complications to arise within the field, so if you feel the need, do not feel particularly pressured. Do not make eye contact with them. If you can.
So,
Do not allow them to spill their blood upon your person either.
I'm trained against supernatural compulsions. It should be no problem for me.
Good. It's a club called Club 101.
So it's a public place. Okay.
You will have your opportunity. It is unlikely they will feed openly. Utilize your target's paranoia against them. It is likely they may attempt to leave if they believe they're being followed. If you require a distraction of sorts, she just hands you a note with a number on it. You may call this number and you'll be given a brief opportunity. However, you will not have any help in bringing down your target. You'll need to do so on your own if you decide to make that choice. I trust in either scenario that you will succeed. You are well built for the arts of combat.
Mm.
I'm
Yes.
told you have advanced quite far.
I have mastery over the worm, yes, but it's not as useful in public places. Great in abandoned buildings and empty alleyways. Not good in clubs, but I'll adapt.
Quite so. And I believe either of us wish for a repeat of the last time you frenzied in public.
No, we do not.
So then, you only have a limited time window, and it is being burned as you stand here talking to me. I have nothing more to say. You may go.
Yes, ma'am.
She doesn't say a word. She simply returns to her seat.
Yep. And with that, Julian will begin on the move. And as he's moving down the stairs and getting back on the open streets, he's going to actually do a frail whisper to try to get attention of some mice.
Okay. Make me a Adam doesn't check. Double check what that roll is because they do change from discipline to discipline power to discipline power.
I think it's. Is it?
It is manipulation plus animal chem plus animalism.
Okay, so manipulation 2, animalism 2, or no, manipulation 2, animal chem 2, animalism 1, so it's 5 dice. Nope. He fails miserably.
Oh, unfortunately, the mice are not out and about today.
Nope. The Julian curses a bit under his breath and continues to the club. This thing, RVSP, or they let anybody in as long as you got the money?
It's not a particularly exclusive place. As long as you have some money, you get inside. It's not a problem.
Gotcha.
You're not exactly a barfly, but this is definitely one of the more inclusive venues in the domain. And well, when you enter, you can see why it's almost offensively generic. Its curved fixtures and hanging neon lights. It would be impressively tacky if it didn't come across as so cliche. Doesn't seem to have any real features of particular that stand out or of any real value. Just a dancing floor, a bar, and that's about it. It's fairly, it's sort of a respectable size, but this really looks like Babby's first club. You know? The music is very, very, very dull and very EDM. Doesn't really excite you. Kind of makes you want to fall into torpor. There aren't that many people here, but you didn't expect many if the news is anything to go by. A lot of businesses are struggling. It's like a minor miracle to you that this place hasn't gone out of business. There is no justice in the world, it seems.
So, as he gets in and moves around and tries not to be literally bored to death by the simplicity of this place. Any obvious cameras? Or this is where it's like a low-tech place?
There are security cameras. Not all that many.
Ooh, excuse me. Then that's that. Julian will just kind of try to look nonchalant and look for his target and just look around for people that he could possibly use to make his job a bit easier.
You spot your target pretty quickly. Would you like to roll a wits plus composure, please?
Yes.
-1 dice, because it's a crowded room. Although not that crowded. Normally it would be a little bit more difficult under these conditions, but there's less people here this evening, or this month rather.
Alright. Wits plus composure. 4 successes.
Okay. You see someone not too far away, but far enough as to be inconspicuous. Down the bar, puts your aura. Someone is watching over him as he carouses with models.
I recognize that face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this must be the proxy Fissel was talking about. He puts that in consideration. And is my particular target is outside of perusing around people, is he making sure that his back is to like an area that has no exit or entrance to leave.
Sorry, who has the entrance or exit to leave, you or your target?
My target. Like as he's browsing, is he always making sure that he has like a exit route, or is he making sure that nothing can come behind him?
Yeah, he's sitting at a booth, and he's sort of sitting on the far end of it, so his back is effectively against the wall, and some rather dense seating. So he doesn't really. He only really he could get up and walk out of the booth and then head towards an exit. But yeah, he doesn't really have. His back is up against the wall, effectively. Exits are, now that you pay consideration to them, relatively close by. Actually, he is. Booth he's sitting at is just a couple booths down from a fire exit. It would take him less than a few seconds to just bail on out of this hole or out of his whole clubroom if he wanted to.
All right, and
You can roll me.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. You can roll me wits plus investigation as well if you want, or intelligence plus investigation.
Button. I will not, since I have no points of investigation. I'd be rolling a chance die.
Okay. You don't have to roll a chance die. If you don't want to, you can just opt to fail. You can also opt to spend willpower to. Nah, no, it wouldn't work in your case.
Yeah.
It's a mental stat, so yeah. Well, actually, no, it would work because you would
I would have 2 dice.
You'd have 2 dice, yeah. So it would give you a fighting chance if you spend a willpower.
Yeah, let's see. What have my willpower at? Button. My willpower. My willpower 6. That's actually max willpower for me. Might as well burn it. So yeah, I'll spend the willpower and roll the die. One success.
Okay. So you you think on the situation from some sort of tactical point of view. And there are a couple of things that spring to mind. One is that it occurs to you why he would be here, particularly a guy who clearly is quite paranoid, at least according to Marcus. So either Marcus was wrong, or your target must feel quite safe here. Right now, it would make sense for him to feel safe here because there's so many mortals around. And that's definitely a shield that is not so easily broken. But there are other places he could be with that shield where he would be less conspicuous and less out in the open. You think he might be here, maybe trying to bait some of his would-be captors out. So you don't think it would necessarily be a good idea to take him right here and then maybe until after he leaves. You certainly can't hang around this many mortals forever. You also think, given his proximity to the fire exit, that he likely has a ride waiting outside. Well, fire exits are often out of sight and out of view. At the very least, it's not going to be a massively public affair if you decide to attack him immediately outside the club, as long as it's not by the entrance.
Alrighty. Then put that in consideration. And seeing these mortals. Actually, no, I don't have anything that might work on him quite yet. That would take too long. Think about that. Hmm. Thanks. You know what? I play into I play into Julian's strengths, and I said that he could be possibly more paranoid about me, but we're on good terms. So no, Julian will actually just kind of walk over there and talk to him. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know this sounds crazy, but I got an idea.
Okay, I'm gonna have a models roll, see if they recognize you from the news. And they don't, fortunately for you. So he sees you approach and goes, Jules. Jules, good to see you again.
So likewise, as he tips his head to him, and I forget her name, and he tips his head to her as well.
You notice that you see the corner of his pupil. You see his pupil shift just ever so slightly to the corner of his eyes, if like he's looking to her, glancing at her ever so briefly. They do seem to be you and they are perhaps the only kindred in the club outside of perhaps one other person. But he says, my dear friends, this is a work friend of mine. Please, Jules, take a seat. Take a seat.
Yeah, and he does. He, nonchalantly waves to the other people around.
Yeah,
And,
one of them doesn't really pay attention to you. They seem sort of just all eyes on Williams, but the others seem to say hi to you, some more awkwardly than others. Most of them are older club goers, early 30s. Look a bit out of place. Like they don't really come here that much. Casual clothes, but not particularly fashionable. Brown jacket, white t-shirt, that sort of thing.
Julian will do some minor small talk with everybody for a minute. And is his name James? I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm forgetting these names. My particular target.
His name is Derrick Williams.
Williams. And as we're talking, he says, Williams. It's like, you, I was like, I'm surprised to see you here. I was like, a friend of mine told me to help this place out because in Dire Straits with all this stuff that's going around these nights, I wouldn't expect you to be in a dive place like that. I assume you'd be more in the highlights place. You seem like a very sociable person. Yeah, words.
I suppose my looks are deceiving. No, I don't get out too much. At least not to venues like this. Not really my thing.
Mm. And as he continues, um, is there a way for me to, specifically with the mortals, um, kind of give them a sense of presence that, hey, I want to talk to Williams alone? Like, kind of give off that body language that don't be here, or even be obnoxious if I can do like a subterfuge or something like that.
Roll me a manipulation plus socialize roll. To get them to perhaps leave you alone. You don't want to come across as too aggressive because then you'll give yourself away and
Yeah, I'm not trying to intimidate them because
it,
that will come off.
Williams may then end up backing them and telling you to go away, which is the opposite of what you want.
Indeed.
But you can't afford to be too soft either, otherwise nobody's going anywhere. So, yeah, roll me manipulation plus socialize.
Let's see. Dang. I got persuasion, but I don't have socialize. So, manipulation, that's only a -1. So, I'll spend another willpower. That's 3, that's 5, so 4 dice. One success.
Oh, success. Okay, that's all you need. So you are you're a little bit raucous, and these people seem quite quiet and even keeled. They seem to prefer more close-knit interactions and calmer conversations. Probably why they don't come to the club much, or looks why they look so out of place. And most of them decide to leave early when you display a bit of volume. That's perhaps a bit too high. It's like to, they make up some excuse of having to go home early, and Eric pulls them to stay, but to no avail. There is, however, one that does stay. It just doesn't really say that much throughout this entire interaction. Doesn't really seem to really pay too much attention to you. They do respond to you. They do talk with you, but they seem quite insistent on staying.
Alrighty. And as this is going on, and the people have kind of separated, Julian would say, Williams, if you got a minute, I need to speak to you privately, if that's okay.
I'm afraid I can't do this evening, I'm afraid. I can arrange a meeting with you some other night if that would be preferable. You see is like people style ever so slightly when you ask for a one-on-one.
Yes.
And
And
a small fade ever slightly from his face.
you know what? I was talking about it. Might as well do it now. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna try to open his doors and give him a reason not to talk to me privately.
Okay. He's neutral to you. He has, I believe it's the lower of your resolve or composure.
Yes, lower resolve your composure is your doors.
But he has 2. And I think because he's neutral with you, or his impression of you is average, you can only open 1 door a night. But maybe you can open. Maybe you can open a door. Maybe opening a single door is all you need.
Let's see. Now the big thing. Oop. Da 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 da. Rolling dice. Yep. Time goals. There we go. Opening doors. Yep. So impression, good average, once per week. It fails. Fixing a marked scar with intelligence crafts could open the door as easy as writing her a song. Expression. So that's I forcing to a surefire way. To force a victim's door, state your goal in your approach. Make your roll to approach as you would open a door normally, but apply a current number of closed doors as a penalty to the roll. If you succeed, all of your victim's doors will open. If you fail, the victim will not trust you ever again, and you can't use force maneuver on them ever again. Okay. Well, I am not subtle, so I am gonna force open his doors. So he has 2 closed doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a -2 penalty, and I am not being subtle, so I am going to be using my intimidation to make my statement
So,
very clear to him.
so
Yes.
I'll say for this you don't really need to open his doors because it's such a minor, like it's a fairly menial thing you're asking of him.
Yes.
It is unlikely you will take a penalty though because he is paranoid. Like he's not in the mood to be alone. He doesn't want to be alone. Him being alone is a risk to him.
No, no.
So you'll need to make a compelling reason. You'll need a compelling reason why you need a quick meeting with him alone. Particularly since he doesn't know you. Doesn't really know why he should have business with you. Outside of sec business at least.
Yes. Um, he will state to him that it's about work and it's of the highest incident of high importance. So,
Okay.
so,
Remember the dice penalty. Other than that, you can roll whatever your highest social stack combination is, really.
all right. And so manipulation, presence, or resolve.
Would be manipulation. Resolve isn't.
Oh yeah, for defending. Duh. I'm not thinking. So
Resolve is
2.
also mental, if I recall.
Yes. Yeah, I'm thinking of composure. Blah. But yeah, that's 2 plus my divination, which is 3. That's 5. And my specialty is not. My specialty would not come into play because he's not really challenging my authority or challenging my worth. He's just being resistant. And spend, yeah, might as well burn him. Then spend another willpower, so that's 5. And mark that down. 2 successes.
Okay. So. He quirks an eyebrow, intrigued. And he'll say, if it is a most urgent matter, then I suppose I can spare the moment. Well, I hope you don't mind if our colleague joins us.
No, it won't be a problem. And as that's happening, Julian will go. I was like, I just need to send a quick text to a friend of mine, and so we'll be good to go. And I will send a text to the number, and say, you know, get distracted, get hungry, whatever. Yeah, to get distracted, get lost.
Okay.
But
As you
I will also clarify, like, don't do it instantly because that will obviously look suspicious.
see you actually see Rachel take out her phone and look at a message on her phone. For putting it on our putting it back in her pocket and walking off somewhere. You see her walk into the staff only room. You're not really sure what she's doing there, but it appears perhaps your message was received. Certainly, it certainly doesn't seem like a coincidence from your perspective.
Yeah. He says, all right. I said, so I need to try to make this. I said, I know you're a busy man. I'm sure you don't want to be bogged down by work. So let's make this quick.
He looks around just behind you. He says, just a moment, I'd just like to wait for a colleague. It's just that, and waits for about a couple of seconds for you to respond. As you're about to speak, you see all the lights go out. And everything goes dark briefly.
Unfortunately for him, I can see in the dark.
Yeah, vampires. He can see you in the dark.
Yeah.
So you're actually just fine, although the mortals aren't. And yeah, everything goes dark. Williams looks around, very confused, and you can see that his hackles are immediately raised.
Julian actually doesn't know about this, so he's in a similar boat. It's like, well, this is weird. But
And Williams just begins to quickly make his way to the door without really attempting to inform you at all.
No, I will follow him. And I was like, Williams? And my tone is stern with him. Like, I was like, don't make a scene about this. I was like, there's nothing.
He yells, "To hell with your scene, get away from me."
Okay. So, when he says that, I was like, well, I was hoping to do this little bit.
Looking to go off.
Yep. So, at least it's loud and it's dark. All right. I pull out the stake. And
roll me your initiative.
Yep. Help put that roll button in there. Or roll phrase. Blah. Alright. And my initiative plus that 8 is. It's 5, so that's 13.
Okay. I'll make a roll for him. No. And he does not get a very good score. So you will go first as he attempts to scurry away to the fire exit like a mouse trying to make its way back into its hole.
All right, I will spend another willpower to. You know what? No, let's not risk it. Let's show some decor. Let's show some skill on my part. I don't need to rely on it all the time.
Well, keep in mind that you know he has the power of dominate. If he catches your eyes, he can stop you with a word, and he can see in the dark. He can catch your eyes.
Yep, he can. Now, buddy, I don't believe you're immune to mental domination, even in frenzy, or are you?
It makes it substantially more difficult. There are certain things dominate cannot compel you to do while you're in frenzy, so it can't compel you from your main task
That's true.
that you designate for yourself. So in theory, you could enter frenzy to attempt to break the dominate. The beast isn't going to care about what it's commanded to do by another.
Yeah, it's dark. It should be dark for well, at least a few minutes, which is more than enough time. That's it. One trick pony is a one trick pony.
If he dominates you to do something that isn't in direct contravention to your beast's goals, the dominate command can work. I'm just going to double check for you. Yeah, that's the only thing. Basically, any effort to try and coerce somebody in frenzy fails unless you directed them towards a similar target. So,
Alrighty, then I will roll my dice and enter frenzy and see what happens.
all right. Keep in mind, you won't be able to stake him while you're in frenzy.
I would not. I should have enough. I thought I'd have enough skill to do that because I've staked somebody before in frenzy.
Have you? I know you're able to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically I don't have any dots and weaponry, but I don't know if I'm allowed to still use tools or not. So that's a good question.
Yeah, I think in theory I shouldn't let you do that because I think Ride the Wave allows you to dictate what your beast should be doing, but I don't think it gives you like proper, like it doesn't give you full control. I think, however, it allows you to direct the frenzy.
Because Ride the Wave allows me to direct the frenzy, then obviously I give the task, which the task I tell my beast is to apprehend.
Yeah.
So, but there's more than one way to apprehend somebody than instantly stake them. But regardless, I got 4 successes on my ride check. So
You need to get 5 if I recall.
yes, but this is a reflexive action, so I can still commit to another action, which I am going to try to grapple him.
Excellent move. If you grapple him, he won't be able to dominate you. So make me a grapple check. And then if you succeed, his defense is 2. He's not very agile.
All right. So strength is 3, brawl is 4, which is 7, minus 2, which is 6, plus a blood surge, which is back to. No, I said 6. And it's minus 2, and I have 7. That'd be 5. So either way, I'm back to 7. Blah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that is an exceptional success.
Oh wow. Okay, let me see if you can beat that. No, he gets a straight fail. So what this does is that rather than doing another roll-off to determine who's in control of the grapple, you are in immediate control of the grapple and can convert those successes to any of the actions that you want that you could take when you're in control of a grapple.
Yep, and I'm a grapple expert, so now all the passives start going off.
Oh yeah, let me double check this. I need to get open let just get your character thing open because that will actually be simpler than me getting open the 2 books I need.
Let's see.
Julian. There you go.
There it is. Okay, page 62.
Okay. So he got clinch strike.
Yep, so he takes 5 bludgeoned. Minus obviously the vampiric resistances, plus if he activates fortitude.
Yep, see he takes 5 bashing.
Divided in half, which is 2.
No, it doesn't work. That's how it works in V5, not in Requiem.
Oh yeah. Dang, not thinking.
Although I do like that system in Requiem, Lamau. Small joint manipulation. I don't think you accepted a -2 penalty to your attack roll.
No, I did not.
So that doesn't matter. The sprawl, which is you can't apply drop prone or take cover. It doesn't matter because you're in control of the grapple. And positional dominance, which is
whenever I do an action, I do some type of damage, if I remember correctly, while I'm grappling.
per 2 successes. So you got how many successes? 5, right?
Yeah.
So you end up doing quite a lot of damage here. You end up doing 7 bashing. So I'm going to have a count these as separate instances of damage.
Not a problem.
So he will apply his resilience and soak almost all of it, only taking a single bashing. But still, it's enough to bruise him, which is impressive considering all you're doing is grappling him. You get to choose an action now. We haven't even finished.
Yep. I will go for. I did not ask for joint manipulation. That is very, very true. Should have said that first, but doesn't matter. I'm going to take him down. So, yep, character can take an opponent rapidly. Well, with a normal roll, you may choose to render opponent prone instead of establishing a grapple. Oh, nope, can't do that. Not yet.
You can. Let's see. You can drop him prone. You can also attempt to restrain him.
That is true.
You can also attempt to control weapon. Although you're not in frenzy right now, so you can still use your stake. Of course, the moment you enter frenzy, and you're going to have to make a roll now because you triggered it. Perhaps won't matter too much.
No, I'll just do I'll knock him prone, and I'll go down.
You can also, you can attempt to also just drag him around if you want.
That's true.
Doesn't have that in the maneuvers because it's not really a maneuver. It's just moving somebody. So.
Nah, I will. Because I'm looking at that under attack. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I will. Defense gets attack. Yeah, drop prone, and I'll go and I'll fall down with them because I have. Do I have E-Pawn? No, E-Pawn allows you to do damage and take down somebody at the same
No.
time. I do not.
Yeah, so you're both knocked to the floor. You can note he can't move.
Yep.
He squirms and panics. Tries to tell you to get him to let him go, but obviously you're not looking at him and he can't see you properly. He needs to catch your eyes. You don't need to catch his eyes. You don't need to be looking at him. He just needs to be able to see you, but you're grappling him, so he can't. So we're going to do, because it's just the two of you in combat, we'll do another roll off and see who succeeds. And he fails again.
I'll just roll the atypical 7 because I don't believe he does not get access to his defense since he's prone, right?
I think being prone actually negatively affects you if you're in melee combat. Sec.
Let's see. He goes for free.
That uses raw weapon need to attack instead. Gains a +2 dice bonus. Oh no, so you're both on the ground, it doesn't actually affect either of you.
Yep. Okay. Then I will roll my 7. And oh noes.
So draw, I'm gonna need you to roll again.
Alright.
Actually just quite well this time. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you serious? We drew again. Yeah, I'm just going to give it to the PC here because I'm not interested in dragging this out. So,
yeah.
So I'm going to allow you to treat as if you get one success more, just because I don't want us to keep rolling until one of us inevitably succeeds.
Yes.
So you get a single success. You can choose to make sure. Also make sure to roll for frenzy because you will be entering frenzy if you don't. You need to make that roll.
Yeah, I was about to roll that right now. So roll my die. Yeah.
And exceptional success. You're in complete control of your frenzy. In fact, I'll say because you get an exceptional success there. Exceptional success to ride the wave. What does that even do?
Let's see. Properties of blood.
So what I'm going to say then is because you got an exceptional success on that one check and instantly ride the wave, is you actually retain a degree of lucidity and can use your stake.
Yay.
So you got one success. Do you want to do damage to him with the stake?
I need to do 5 all at once if I remember right. And he has fortitude, so
yeah, it's going to be difficult to hurt him. It might be easier to drag him out. People are starting to turn their mobile phone lights on, and you need to get out of here because you're still in a public space. It may be dark, but eventually going to be spotted, and people are clearly hearing the ballroom brawl happening.
Indeed.
People clearly don't think that's what people clearly don't think there's anything more than that right now. Like, you hear people like talking about it and yelling. Some people appear to be exiting the building. You can see them quite clearly. So
this is the case right now. No, I would say since he's prone, and I do keep zip ties on me, though I am in frenzy, would I be able to restrain him?
Normally I'd say no, but you got an exceptional success, so I say you retain the lucidity to use tools.
Alrighty. So then I believe, just going back to that combat section, restrain. Your opponent has duct tape, zip ties, or painful joint locks. Your opponent is mobilized. You can only use this move if you are succeeded in a hold, which I have. If you use equipment to restrain your opponent, you can leave the grapple. And zip ties do have specific bonuses for these situations, which I'll tell you right now. On the physical equipment section, it is. Yeah, there should be thinking about duct tape because not just rope. It's not stun gun, rope, handgun, slashing kick, cow drops, bear trap, battering ram. Yeah, I remember seeing this specifically. Tape. Politics, cover tape, restrain. There we go, duct tape on page 187.
So you've done a restraint action, so you basically you're still largely in control of your beast. You restrain him with duct tape. So much so that you're still partially conscious. You know, you can still sense things as Julian normally would, which is very rare. Even when you're directing the wave, that's not normally how you perceive things. You're not normally this calm. Grappling with a beast is still extremely dangerous, even for a master of the call of the one.
But
So,
but with him restrained and just knowing the typical things, because right now he doesn't feel like he has any vigor. He ain't getting out of those. We'll turn off the frenzy and begin moving him outside the door and staking him. Or hell, I'll just stake him right now.
I'll say you drag him outside the door, you hold him up against the car, and you stick a stake in his chest. It takes a while. He's resilient. He's formidable, but the way in which he squirms against you, he's not exactly a trained fighter. He has some basic self-defense training, but he's clearly no soldier. And while it takes you a while to just thrust a stake into him against a brick wall that is his skin, you eventually manage to push it in him. And about a few minutes later, you see your mole just emerge from one of the doors, or yeah, well, not emerging from the door, but rather walking around the corner.
I see her. I was like, hello.
She has some very thin flecks of blood on her hands. Almost unnoticeable, but you're a vampire. You smell it and spot it right away.
I look at her with mild curiosity.
We should go out of here. This place is still hot.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
You got car keys?
No, I don't.
Ah, wait, no. She just searches the staked kindred and actually finds his car keys. Just unlocks the door to the car that you've placed them against.
Convenient. And I should be more thinking. I should think about that more often.
You've effectively exited into the fire exits to sort of the back the not the back of the club, but the far end of one of the side one of the far end of the side streets. So it's pretty isolated. You've just been able to keep him staked to the back of the club, away from the very scant security cameras that are here. It's literally one security camera staring at the door, and that's it. And his car is parked around there. But no, she just opens up the boot and will help you stick him inside.
Before they put it inside, it's like this may be excessive, but just to be sure, and he'll break his ankle using the joint manipulation as a reason why, or
Ooh.
just so even if he some reason gets out, you have to take time to spend blood to heal his leg to start running away.
Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere quickly.
Then he looks over to his mole and saying, uh, so how long you been on this case?
What case? I was just asked to inform my superiors as to what was happening and provide an opening if necessary.
Okay, and this won't be much of a conversation as he closes the trunk on him.
Oh no, please tell me about your case.
I don't know. I typically don't ask questions, so I thought you might know more.
Derrick sought to employ me for protection. As a sworn of the axe, I was obligated to do so, but I learned from Lady Thistle that it was the Ordo that wanted to apprehend him, so as a member of the Sworn, I was also obligated to ensure that he be brought in.
He nods.
What he's done, I'm not sure, but I know he and Delphine are not friends.
Well, that's the joy of our position. We don't have to care or know. Just got to do it.
I don't like blindly following orders, but
Yeah. I
I
understand.
trust your sire's word. And she has. Well, let's just say I owe her a favor.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she has a lot of debt she can get herself people to repair on.
Well, not to me anymore, at least. So I should actually say not from me anymore, at least. Anyway, where to?
You'll send a quick message to Thistle that the package has been secured.
She'll say, bring it to Goodman Pharmaceuticals. Leave Brassard behind.
And he puts up the phone and says, "Well, your job is done here," and puts out his hand to shake her hand.
And here I thought I was going to get to drive.
Yeah.
She'll shake your hand.
So, enjoy the rest of your night, I says. And he looks over at her hand for the traces of blood. And not like I said, I know I'm saying the obvious, but obviously cover your tracks.
I cleaned after myself, mostly.
So, I'll just
Anyway,
explain.
you're the wanted man.
Yeah. I'll be careful.
I will, I guess I will see you later.
Yeah. You have a good night. As he gets into the car and starts the engine.
When you start the car, Brassett will just sort of wait by it as you drive away, and she'll begin to make her exit from the side street. And you return to Goodman Pharmaceuticals. A surprisingly clean job.
When he gets there, he makes sure to go to a back entrance that maybe his code still works in, or the key, whatever it may be. If not, he'll go ahead.
There's a car park that you can hide the car in, or that you can take it to. Drive it to.
What he does, he sends a message to Fistful and says the package at the location.
You get O&W. Within a few minutes, she sorry, not her, but somebody you do not recognize actually leaves the building, has a predatory aura of their own. A man who looks to be in his late 30s, early 40s. Wearing a lab coat. And basic office wear.
Julian gestures to the man and says, "Good evening."
Good evening. Would you mind showing me your prize?
Can you verify that you're part of the party? Because he does not recognize him. He assumed Fistel would come here herself.
I was less than subtly encouraged to meet the one who performed the task that my child would not.
With that, he straightens up a bit because he recognizes that turn of phrase. Ah, I see. This is the first time we've ever met, as he begins opening the trunk.
He looks down upon the body. Let it be known that this is what happens to traitors that resided in our midst, although I'm sure you've seen much of this already. Mr. Williams is a very reckless man. Something he only became self-aware of after it was already too late. Very unfortunate.
Seemed like a good enough man, but I don't get paid to judge, I get paid to deliver.
He was at the pawn of a pawn.
What did you say? What is the point of the pawn?
He was the pawn of a pawn.
Uh, he Julian goes, just nods. Well, I hope to hear so. What's our exact standing within this particular war soon? I've been in the dark for quite some time.
We'll come to understand more of its reasons and our motivations given time. You have entered this conflict at an interesting stage. You are on the correct side of history.
I hope so. He says in a mixture of defeated and an ambivalent tone in his voice.
The order has been inflicted, it would be more accurate to say infiltrated, by powers best left undealt with and, more importantly, destroyed. The kindred staked before you was one of their willing servants, and that is the particular danger that faces our organization. Curiosity based in arrogance and not in understanding. Do not misunderstand. This is not another petty war game. The outcome of what we are fighting for is the survival of our sect and nothing less. You might not yet have noticed it has been a very subtle degradation. As opposed to that of the Carthians or the Invictus. And I cannot be permitted to learn of this conflict. I'm sure that is understood.
He nods.
You know only as much as you do because your sire vouches for you and your word. You have, however, performed admirably. This is clean. I really save those words for you these nights. I find our order to be increasingly dirty, careless, and sloppy. not up to standard. Now worse, self-destructive. There will be another target. The pieces are falling into place. When you are called upon, I expect you to do as you say. Sorry, I expect you to do what you say you always do. Deliver.
That the order expects nothing less, and I will do so.
He nods. My name is Roderick Stanton. You don't need to make a politics roll to know what that name means to you, Julian, because that name is the founding kindred of the London Order Decor, who has not been seen in a very, very long time.
No, he is not. Julian nods respectfully to him and says, My sire has talked about you with great favor. It is an honor to meet you.
I expect all to speak of me of either great honor or great fear. It matters not to me. What does matter, however, is that our sect is liberated from the birds that seek to tear it down. Your sire and I shall deal with that. I will note both your loyalty and your success, however. And when judgment has been rendered, you will be rewarded. Should you continue to deliver.
He nods. I hope Irons has been doing well.
He has served his purpose.
Hmm. I see.
Well, I must admit I did expect more from him. But I have been told my expectations are high. I shall not remain here any longer. My presence in this domain, as I'm sure you can piece together, is not tenable to many.
He nods. Good night to you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Goodman. He'll take... He will simply take the staked kindred and drag him into the building unceremoniously, leaving you all alone, but with a new vehicle. I think that is a good place to end the scene. Thank you, Play, for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.